imagine after Moses dies, he's like, oh, all these other nations use statues. I'm going to make a statue of Moses.
Right. And I'm going to ask it for
and
things.
Then imagine Isaiah the prophet going into his his scriptorium or whatever, and he's got his disciples, and they're all writing his prophecies.
It's a statue of Moses
and Joshua
with the two stones.
Yeah, Ruth and Boaz and David,
and Joshua comes in and kisses the feet of it and lights a candle in front of it, and then starts asking the statue for things.
Yeah, yeah. So this is something that the Romans were doing. Like Romans had statues and images, right? That was part of their devotional life. They would have shrines. We know that the same thing happened with the ancient Baal worship. They have the little figurines. So that this idea of it seems, in my view, the simplest explanation is that as the true faith expanded, there were people who had it, of maybe, I don't know, lower literacy or lower education, thought, oh, I'll just retain the images. I'll just change what the images are. So instead of Caesar, I'll have an image of Mary, or something like that. And then they thought.
There's another aspect to this whole conversation. And I will, we come down pretty hard. Well, we come down hard on just about everybody on every side of us, right? We come down hard on the Messianics. We come down hard on the Jews. We come down hard on the Christians. Okay. But obviously we have something in common with I think probably all of them, right? Now, the rabbis have, and everybody knows I don't put a lot of stock into what the rabbis say. However, the rabbis get some stuff right sometimes. And they have all these conversations about what to do about idols and the perception that you might actually worship an idol. Now, for instance, you weren't allowed to go into a Gentile's house. Why weren't you allowed to enter a Gentile's house? This is a discussion that is had. Because the lintels were low. And if you bend down to get into your Gentile friend's house and there's an idol in the house, another Jew might see you going into the house and say, he's bowing down to the idol inside of the house. Instead of just thinking you're going, you have to duck so you don't hit your head. Nope, you actually bow before you get into the house. That could be bowing to the idol. So you're not allowed to do that. There was another discussion of the god that was worshipped by being peed on. I know this sounds grotesque, and it is, but at the same time, the question was, are you allowed to pee on an idol if that's the way that you worship it, right? Like you'd be able to desecrate a different kind of idol. Like, if there's an idol over here and I go and I pee on it, what am I doing? I'm desecrating the idol, right? And you're allowed to do that because it's like you should desecrate the idols, right? But what about an idol that is worshipped by getting peed on? Right, so there's all these discussions on whether or not you're allowed to do that. So I say all this because there is this idea within Judaism, and I think it's the right idea, of perception is something. The fact is that Catholics have continually, by everyone else, by the Greek Orthodox, by Protestants, everyone says, hey, they're worshiping idols. And what do the Catholics say? They don't say, you know what, everybody thinks that we're worshiping idols. We don't think we are, but to avoid the perception that everyone thinks that we're bowing down and worshiping these idols, we're going to get rid of all of the statues. They don't do that. Instead, they make up all these things like, oh, well, we're not really worshiping the idols. This is wrong all the way around. Even the idea of what we're doing, what the Catholics are doing, this is wrong. It's wrong. It's the same with a woman. If I go into a house alone with a woman, someone might say, hey, that's not his wife. I wonder what they're doing in there. Well, what does that mean? I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't go in. Am I doing anything wrong? Probably not. But the point is that to avoid the perception that I am doing something inappropriate with a woman who is not my wife, I should not go into the house alone with a woman. Well, why in the world would the Catholics say, oh, well, it's fine if people think that we're worshiping idols. We'll just keep doing it. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense to me at all. So all of this to say, I think that there are so many aspects of this. No matter which way you slice it, the Catholics and what they're accused of It's because they continue on in their practice of what they're doing. Thank you so much for watching this video. Tell us your thoughts on this subject by leaving a comment in the comment section. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable those notifications. And we'll see you in the next video.